Screen again. So welcome to the next Insectopia webinar. In this occasion, we will have the opportunity to learn more with our amazing speaker today, Daniele Giannetti from the University of Parma, about artificial nests to artificial intelligence trail cameras. This is an amazing issue, an amazing topic that will be key for the submission of proposals in our upcoming next steps of the Insectopia initiative. So please, I'm accepting people still joining the meeting. So just would like to confirm that you see my screen with the slide of the webinar. Is that correct, Daniele? Sorry for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you can see it, right? So before passing the floor to Daniele, I would like to shortly do a little introduction about Insectopia. I guess you all are familiar with our initiative, but Insectopia is an initiative that was born in the frame of the different activities of the campus, healthy campus and sustainable campus life in the EU Green Alliance. The EU Green Alliance is one of the university alliances that are currently working together to create the European universities. And our alliance, the EU Green, is the European University Alliance for Sustainability. So in terms of sustainability, insects are key elements in our ecosystems and in our food systems. So we are very happy to be addressing this issue at campus level. So we integrate education, research, and ecological restoration to create lasting environmental and societal impact while fostering the collaboration in our stakeholders, not only at university level, but also with society and other kind of experts. The overview we would like to share with all of you is that Insectopia is an initiative with a main objective and is to design and implement creative solutions to support biodiversity in our campuses and beyond. Through activities as this webinar and different workshops and a call for proposals, we would like to engage students, staff, and local communities in the development of these sustainable habitats for insects. And we are thinking about insect hotels and different habitats we can create in our campuses, but the door is open to other creative solutions. Please note that the call for proposals will be open next week. And these proposals are expected to contribute to the development of insect-friendly, again, spaces and engage the campus communities in biodiversity awareness and also taking action. The winning teams, the awards for these winning proposals, we'll see how their proposals become true in their campuses. There will be an official recognition of those winning teams, and the most important will be the retreat that we are organizing in the first week of June in Spain, where all those winning teams from the 9 universities will travel to Spain and will participate in a program where we will include a hackathon and different training activities and side activities in the beautiful region of La Vera in the north of Extremadura in Spain. To conclude this little presentation, we would like to remind you that the objectives of the Insectopia initiative are very clear. We want to support local biodiversity in each of the different contexts in the 9 universities of the EU Green Alliance. We want to promote environmental sustainability. For those proposals and for the different actions to be taken, we want to use natural or recycled materials and have a long-term maintenance plan, because this will be used as an educational and engagement tool. So we want these campuses to be real hub for inspiring future activities, future actions in terms of ecosystem restoration and protecting and promoting the role of insects. And last but not least, we want to be creative, we want to be innovative, we want to and we want to embrace creativity, but science-based initiatives. So with any further ado, I will stop sharing my screen and I will pass the floor to Daniele Giannetti. He is, I would like to have this. He's a research fellow at the University of Parma. He's here with us, and he specializes in insect behavioral ecology, focusing on ant-plant interactions, so ants as key insects in our ecosystems, and multitropic networks. His research includes studying saprophilic insects, the impact of climate change on ecosystems, and applying technologies like drones and artificial intelligence to insect behavioral studies. So, Daniele, we can see your screen. The floor is yours. Thank you very much for your contribution today. And again, really interested in listening to you. Thank you. Okay, I don't know if you can hear, Daniele. I cannot hear you at the moment. You are muted.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, sorry. Perfect. I'm ready. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, everybody. So during my presentation, I will talk about different technology that can be applied for the study and monitoring insect, specifically drone 3D printers and the AI technology. So drone or UAV, unmanned air vehicle, is a general term that define different type of aircraft with different propulsion system, size, and application. This image represents just an example of many prototypes realized. But the increase in availability of inexpensive drone provides an opportunity for researchers and wildlife expert to use an aerial sensor platform to monitor wildlife. Initially used for the study of vertebrates, such as through the use of thermal camera, for example, drones have also been employed for studying small vertebrates and insects, thanks to the miniaturization of some components, such as tags used in radio telemetry, and due their possibility to capture signals from high altitude, they can enable the simultaneous localization of multiple subjects and track their movement, unlike standard antennas, which can detect only one individual at a time. But moreover, the new optics allow the acquisition high quality image at high altitude. But drones have also been used for direct capture of insects by the application of nets, for example. Thanks to their speed, drones can monitor very large area. However, nets can make the drone unstable as increases altitude. And for these reasons, in our lab, we have developed and tested in field for the first time a new type of rigid trap, an adhesive trap, which can be used on small drone. The adhesive trap is only able to capture during the drone's horizontal fly and not in vertical flight. And we tested the capture efficiency from 5 meter to 120 meter. But we used this new trap to study a specific question about the flight altitude reached by males and females of ants during the nuptial flight. So the ability of queen and males of most ant species to disperse by fly has fundamentally contributed to the group's evolutionary and ecology success, and is a determining factor to take into account for biogeographic study. However, still details of the dispersal altitude range and, for example, and flight duration of males and queens are usually unknown, with rare exception. So, for this field study, we select 4 ant models in a field area in the north of Tuscany, and a scan sampling was conducted 3 times a week for 2 years, from March to October, to check the presence of male and or widget female outside the nest entrances, indicating the potential for an ongoing swarming event. Whenever this condition was detected, we carried out one flight for multiple transect of 600 meters with the drone for 2 consecutive days, from 5 meters to 120 meters. So, in total, we captured a total of 24 male and 22 females of ants, including 4 additional species. The results shows the relation between flight altitude and the body size across different genera and subfamily, with the smaller species were found to fly at higher altitude than larger one, with a meaningful difference between species. Well, at the same time, despite sometimes significant interspecific dimorphism, flying queens and male of the same species exploited the same altitude range. So this new technology, drone-based, appears as a promising tool in insect monitoring, and currently we are testing other prototypes applicable to different drones and useful for monitoring different species. But the creation of structure and prototypes is facilitated by the possibility of use the 3D printing. So the 3D printing is a general term to define different types of technique. Here I have listed only a few that allow the processing of different material, from ceramic to biomaterials, so important, made from the production waste, such as wood, coffee, tea, and fruit, for example. In our cases, we use a 3D printer to process a wood-based biomaterial and create an artificial nest inspired by the galls of Andricus quercustode. But what is galls? Galls are a new-formed structure on host plant tissue caused by the parasitic action of insect and other organism. Especially oak galls, particularly those induced by Andricus quercustode, can provide a refuge for secondary fauna, such as beetle, spider, but especially ants. After the emergence of galligenous insect, gall represent a suitable nesting site, allowing an abundant and stable presence of ant colony on the host plants. So, although gall may initially represent a physiological and energetic cost for the plants, however, the colonization by the ants may ultimately offset this cost with their protection on the plants. So, ants species from several genera colonize galls and modifies the internal architecture and utilize the gall as either their main nest or a satellite nest in a polydom species. For example, the most frequent and abundant species, Crematogaster scutellaris, modify and select the galls in relation to the colony composition. However, in managed environments, such as agricultural and urban settings, there can be a scarcity of dead wood that offer a crucial nesting site for ecologically impactful of wood nesting ants. One solution is to provide artificial nesting sites that allow wood nesting ant colonies to develop. Thanks to the morphometric 3D and 3D printing, we realized an artificial galls for the first time, inspired by the galls of Andre Custódio. And based on previous study, we select two different architecture, one gall with an inside camera compared to the empty galls, and another type of galls with total excavated, and the optimal thickness necessary to ensure resistance and minimize printing time was assessed by subjecting artificial galls to different stress tests. Well, with this gall, we have a video of example of gall colonized by the most abundant species, Crematogaster scutellaris, during the field experiment. So with this gall, we conducted the field experiment to analyze the colonization rate by the ants, and the results show the high colonization rates in urban and natural area, with 5 species of ants that colonize galls in the natural area, and 4 species of ants that colonize gall in urban area. But finally, we test the use of gall in agricultural context and recording the effects of ant activity on olive tree. So there was also a significant differences in the number of leaves showing chewing damage, with a high number of leaves affected in the absence of the ants. But we have another very interesting results. There was also a significant difference between the treatment regarding the damage inflicted by Dasyneura ole, is another galligenous insect, with a high number of leaves exhibiting damage in the absence of the ants. So, while efficient for enhancing the presence of Arbolian nesting ants and observing the ecological effects of this increase, they do not allow observe the inside of the nest to study the colonizing ants. So we developed a new prototype, artificial galls 2.0, and the new model is meant to allow the investigator to keep track of ant activity and other condition inside the artificial nest through camera and sensor. Here we can see 2 different examples. We have the video realized by the camera inside the artificial galls with the queen of Crematogaster scutellaris in laboratory conditions. And here we have another example in field during the field experiment. The colony inside the new prototype of artificial galls of Camponotus lateralis. So each of these technology can be used with the system that use artificial that can be used and employed with a system that use artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science that enables machine to simulate human intelligence at it uses algorithms to learn from data, to recognize patterns and make decisions. We identified two principal tools of artificial intelligence. The machine learning, so its term is so famous, is a subset of artificial intelligence that enable computer to learn pattern from data using algorithms. And deep learning, another very most famous term in artificial intelligence, and is a advanced subset of machine learning that use deep neural network to automatically learn feature from a very large data set. But so in relation to the target, here I report an example that I realized during this weekend. In relation to the target, in this case, let's assume we have the identified, for example, building and people. We can try the AI by processing different images that describe these two categories. Thanks to the training, we will able to ask we will able to ask the AI by submitting a new image or video to indicate, for example, how many building, or more difficult, for example, how many people in this picture. So only one am I near my house. And this recently we applied artificial intelligence to identify alien species such as Aleomorphalis by acquiring image using a drone, for example, from very high altitude. And this is an example of picture realized with the drone in field. But moreover, recently, in a collaboration with the University of Perugia, we are developing an automatic identification system based on AI and a new trail camera for insect, able to identify actually at least 8 species of ants. The training carried out by image from some devices has allowed us to obtain very interesting preliminary data with recognition accuracy of the 87%. So, in conclusion of my presentation, I report future perspective. So the realization of new prototypes of no-kill traps made by 3D printing and biomaterials for monitoring ants and other insects, the field application of new AI trail camera and implementation for identification of other species, new artificial structure for study insect behavior, and the application on a small drone of a camera for study biodiversity in natural and urban ecosystem. Some of these are already being completed in the laboratory test and the experiment. So, many thanks to Green Alliance and my universities for this opportunity to present our research. Many thanks to research group and my PI, Donato. And thank you very much, everyone, for the attention.
Thank you very much, Daniele. Amazing. Congratulations for this amazing job. Wow. Really, really interesting.
I know that I know what is your preferred image of my presentation. I think that the artificial
nest. This is amazing. Well, if there are some questions among the participants, it would be great you can raise your hand and ask your questions. We have some minutes.
Yeah, I have in time. Yes, I
was full of interesting inputs, and I guess it will be very, very inspiring. In my opinion, one of the most inspiring for the upcoming call for proposals. We can discuss it now, but if there are some questions, Lars, please, or colleague Lars from the University of Gabel, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for a very nice talk. And I wonder about this drone when it's out in the field and it detects. You said it can detect damages by some specific insects on plants. What was it like that?
Yeah, this is it's an application. It's the same application. It depends what's the training of the AI. In this case, we use for the training the image of insect, but we have the possibility to train the AI with the specific image of the damage by the different insect. So the mechanism is the same to construct the algorithms.
Yeah. So yeah, what I was curious. So everything is inside the training mechanism is inside the drone. Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, it's automatic. It's we use a camera, specific camera on the drones with integrated an AI technology.
That sounds very interesting. Yeah, and promising for many different fields. No, like detecting. I don't know about. In Sweden, we have had some years very big problems with the bark beetles, attacking spruce. That cost millions and millions of euros when it occurs, and then this could be a very good way to use for detecting. I can imagine. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There is a question in the chat, Daniele, regarding the nests. Can ants adapt the inside of nests, creating new chambers? I guess she mentioned the artificial nests, if they can be adapted by the ants.
Okay. I don't know where. Okay. Yeah. Well, we will see. Now we test many nests in field, and we have another experiment with different nests in field. We will see what is during the long term in field, what is the effects of ants inside the artificial nest. Yes, it's a possibility because the structure of the nest is characterized by an area near the chamber of 2 millimeter open area, and yeah, we will see what is the effect of ants inside the nest for a long time.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a question myself. I have many.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking about the future call for proposals, and more especially, we are expecting to create insect utopias in the different university campuses of the EU Green Alliance. I guess your research is focused on a specific territory. You mentioned the north of Tuscany. Will it be interesting for you? Imagine that we have 9 different insect utopias, no? To extend your research in the different campuses by creating those nests. And I am thinking about a collaboration opportunity once we have the conditions to have different insects, or maybe we focus on one specific species of insects in the different campuses. So at some point, those insectopias in the different campuses will, of course, be an opportunity to provide data to different research works and to collaborate among our universities. What do you think? Will that be possible, or is it the climate or the different conditions
Yes,
will affect, or
yeah,
how?
Of course, it's a great opportunity. Now, this is the first application in field. We select different area, natural area in the north of Tuscany, but we tested the colonization in Parma and another city near Parma. So it's a great opportunity because now we developed another type of artificial gall to test the effect in Spain, for example, with other colleagues. But Green and the university and the alliance of Green, it's an opportunity to test different, for example, type of galls in different sites in Europe and analyze the preference of, for example, hands for this gall, to implement the hands in different area, for example. It's a great opportunity, I think.
Amazing. Great. Yeah, this is, I wanted to confirm because this is a highlight we can share once we inform, because the call for proposals will be sent out next week. And in my opinion, what you shared with us is also a great example of multidisciplinary collaboration. I don't know exactly your team, what is your profile, but for those nests and for the different initiatives, because this is an example, but other insects need different kind of nests. We can imitate also them and try to create similar structures. So we try to help them for this nesting and reproduction. So this is a great example. And creatives like arts or engineering or any data science will be very welcome for these insect utopias and for the call for proposals. And this is a great example. And yeah, I don't know if you have any other comments. Donato, you are here. We have the opportunity to have you here. If you would like to comment something, or if you would like to add anything to this very, very, very interesting session.
Thank you, Antonio. No more to add. Only that well, this is just a kind of way to produce artificial nests. I mean, this is a general idea on how new technologies could be used in a good way to study nature, to study biodiversity, to get information from the environment. So it's an example on how to do. And so everyone can develop its typical application of this kind of approaches. For example, 3D printing or AI application or drones and so on, to the specific model system they are using in the research. So it's just examples that everybody in EU Green Alliance, and not only in EU Green Alliance, can develop. And in case we can help in this. So Daniele, especially, this is specialized in this topic.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So monitoring is another important. Monitoring is another very important topic, because sometimes we don't know much about some environment because we are not able to reach this environment. Some places where it's difficult for humans to collect, to get information, but for drones or other kind of tools can get information on the ground, below ground, on higher top of the trees, and so on.
Amazing. Great. So thank you very much for this interesting
for everybody,
also.
I attached the paper in the specific. I don't know where, but in this with a specific link, Antonio. I don't know what is. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, all the information Daniele provided in his presentation, together with a recording of this session, will be made available to all of you in the Insectopia website. At the moment, we have like a work in progress website because we are working on the design. The template of our website is not so friendly, but we are working to improve it. So all the papers, the publications you shared with us, they will be available in the Insectopia website together with the presentation. And yeah, I think this is all from today's webinar. It was really, really interesting and inspiring. Again, all participants in these webinars and in the other webinars will receive information about the next steps in the Insectopia initiative. And again, thank you on behalf of the EU Green Alliance for your amazing session today and for your congratulations for your work and the University of Parma and for contributing to the Insectopia initiative.
Antonio, just a thing, I would like to add just a thing on this,
Please.
because for example, in the use of galls, all artificial galls, all started not from the basic science. I mean, we were interested in studying the ecological succession in the different galls. Because the cynipid wasps start producing the galls, but then when they emerge from the galls, there's a free room for other insects, other animals, as Daniele stated. And so we were very interested in the basic science behind this phenomenon. But then we realized that when ants are in the galls and ants are on plants, they are not only a disturbance. Many people think that ants are pests, only pests, or are disturbing insects in agroecosystems, and so they are traditionally considered very bad animals. But we have many, and not only we have many evidences, at least in our environments, that ants can, being a generalist predators, may contribute strongly to conservative biological control in many agroecosystems. And so, and this brought us to get the artificial galls and to put them on olive trees. They normally are not oak galls on olive trees, but this was an example on how to apply the basic knowledge to potentially applicable results. So it's another message for people that are not accustomed with this kind of insects or with this kind of topics.
Thank you. I'm listening to you, and because I am already trying to organize the retreat in Jarandilla in June, where we would like it to be a real opportunity to learn from each other and to learn from those experiences. And a hackathon is a knowledge-intensive program. So usually there is people with a high level of knowledge in a topic, and then there is some interaction. So I guess that this will be a great opportunity. I hope in a way we can all join this retreat. And on Thursday, we will have a meeting to discuss about the next steps in the Insectopia and about this retreat. So if you can join that meeting, that would be great.
Thank you.
If not, we will keep you updated because it seems to be very, very interesting next steps. So again, thank you very much
Thank
to
you.
all of
Thank
you,
you, everybody.
and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.